So let us go for the next kind, that is chi-square test with equal probability. So in the previous slides we have seen goodness of fit test. That is mainly we are checking the uh, data distribution, whether it is proper or not, what the assumptions what you are going to take, maybe exponential distribution or variable distribution, so or uniform distribution. So whatever it may be, the distribution is as assumed distribution is proper or not. So that is what you are going to test here. So this is another kind of chi-square test where we are going to consider equal probabilities. Okay, so the data, if suppose the data is given and the data has been distributed, and the distributed data is with equal probability. So if that is the case, we go for this method. So here, how to calculate the number of class intervals for this case? So that is given as k is less than or equal to n by 5. Okay, where n is the total number of observations. Okay, so if 50 data is given in your particular problem, we consider n as 50, like this. Okay, 100 data is given, n will be equal to 100. So that is what we write here. Okay, next is we have to calculate probability for each class, every class interval. So this probability is given as pi is equal to 1 by k. Okay, you get the probability value. So using this probability value, we can calculate another value, that is f of x. F of x is equal to I into p. So this particular value is needed in the next calculation, that is AI. So what is AI? For the exponential distribution, you have to calculate the upper limits and lower limits. So here mainly we calculate for every to distribute this particular data in different class intervals. So we suppose we are going to calculate here AI. So what is AI? AI is equal to minus 1 by lambda ln into 1 minus I into p. So you are going to calculate A naught value, A1 value, A2 value. So depending on the k value, you are going to calculate certain A values. Okay, if k is from the calculation, if you get k value as is less than or equal to 10, suppose, okay, k value you get it as less than 10. So k can be assumed any number that is less than 10. Okay, k can be equal to 5. Okay, it can be equal to 7, 8, like this. Okay, so that if k is considered to be some value, maybe k I consider it as 8. So based on a consideration of that 8 value, you get pi value. Okay, a different value. Okay, so using that, I'm going to calculate a1, a naught, a1, a2 up to where a8. Okay, a naught to a8. So you need to distribute this particular data into different class intervals. So that's why how to calculate a naught. Okay, a naught value usually will be 0. Okay, we consider it as 0. A naught will be 0, and ak value, that is the last value, ak value will be equal to infinity. So between this range you are going to divide the intervals. So the first initial, after a naught, you need to calculate a1. So how do you calculate a1? A1 is equal to again minus 1 by lambda ln into 1 minus I into p. I is now 1. Okay, 1 into p. So this way the a2 value will be different. Like this, you have to calculate up to a8. So this is how we are going to calculate in this case. Let's take one particular example. So use chi-square test of goodness of fit to test whether the following distribution is exponential. So they have asked it for exponential distribution, and they have given certain data. They have also mentioned which test you have to go for, this chi-square test, and they have given data as 79.919, 3.081, 0.062, 1.961, 5.84, 3.027, 6.505, 0.021, 0.013, 0.123, 6.769, 59.899. Next value is 1.192, 34.76, 5.009, 18.387, 0.141, 43.565, 26.44, 0.433, 104, 44.695, 2.668. Next value is 17.967, 0.091, 9.003, 0.941, 0.877, 878, 3.371, 2.157, 7.579, 0.624, 5.34, 3.148, 7.078, 23.96, 0.59, 1.928, 0.3, 0.002, 0.543, 7.004, 31.764, 1.005, 1.147, 0.219, 3.217, 14.382, 1.008, 2.336 and 4.462. So these are the numbers. This is the data they have given for chi-square test. So to test, we have to consider first two hypotheses or formulating the hypothesis. So how to formulate the hypothesis? One hypothesis says the assumption is right. Another hypothesis says the assumption is not right. So first hypothesis, H0 hypothesis. So it says that this is assumption actually. So first you can see the H0 represents the data which is exponentially distributed over lambda. Okay, another assumption, or we are going to formulate another hypothesis, that is H1, where the data is not equal to the exponential distribution. Okay, that means one hypothesis says that the data whatever they have given is exponential. Okay, it's following the exponential distribution. Okay, next hypothesis says that it's not exponential distributed data. Okay, so you have to calculate here actually lambda is given as, for the particularly for the exponential distribution, lambda value is equal to 1 by x bar. Okay, so how to calculate this x bar value? So that is equal to 1 divided by summation of xi divided by n. Okay, so that is equal to 1 by 11.931. So that is, you get it as value 0.084. Okay, so this is one calculation. Another calculation here is you have to calculate k. So what you are going to calculate x bar is actually the mean value. Okay, mainly for if you are considering the ungrouped data, usually consider x bar as, so as we have done in the previous parameter estimation, we have talked about this x bar. X bar means the mean value. Okay, s square means you are calculating the sample variance value. So here we need x bar. So this is what you are calculating here is mainly for the ungrouped data. Okay, so that's why this formula is like this: x bar is equal to summation of xi divided by n. Suppose it was a group data, the formula was different. So we have solved it already, that for group data. Okay, it will be for a group data summation of xi into fi divided by summation of fi. So the formula will be totally different. Okay, so this formula is mainly for the ungrouped data. So x bar is equal to summation of xi divided by n. So and you have to get this value, and also k value is less than or equal to n by 5. So how to calculate k? K is equal to less than or equal to n is now here 50. If 50 data are given, you have to write it as 50 divided by 5. So you get k as k is less than or equal to 10. So to test, we have to consider first two hypotheses or formulating the hypothesis. So how to formulate the hypothesis? One hypothesis says the assumption is right. Another hypothesis says the assumption is not right. So first hypothesis, H0 hypothesis. So it says that this is assumption actually. So first you can see that H0 represents the data which is exponentially distributed over lambda. Okay, another assumption, or we are going to formulate another hypothesis, that is H1, where the data is not equal to the exponential distribution. Okay, that means one hypothesis says that the data whatever they have given is exponential. Okay, it's following the exponential distribution. Okay, next hypothesis says that it's not exponential distributed data. Okay, so you have to calculate here actually lambda is given as, for the particularly for the exponential distribution, lambda value is equal to 1 by x bar. Okay, so how to calculate this x bar value? So that is equal to 1 divided by summation of xi divided by n. Okay, so that is equal to 1 by 11.931. so that is, you get it as value 0.084. Okay, so this is one calculation. And the calculation here is you have to calculate k. So what you are going to calculate x bar is actually the mean value. Okay, mainly for if you are considering the ungrouped data, usually consider x bar as, so as we have done in the previous parameter estimation, we have talked about this x bar. X bar means the mean value. Okay, s square means you are calculating the sample variance value. So here we need x bar. So this is what you are calculating here is mainly for the ungrouped data. Okay, so that's why this formula is like this: x bar is equal to summation of xi divided by n. Suppose it was a group data, the formula was different. So we have solved it already, that for group data. Okay, it will be for a group data summation of xi into fi divided by summation of fi. So the formula will be totally different. Okay, so this formula is mainly for the ungrouped data. So x bar is equal to summation of xi divided by n. So and you have to get this value, and also k value is less than or equal to n by 5. So how to calculate k? K is equal to less than or equal to n is now here 50. If 50 data are given, you have to write it as 50 divided by 5. So you get k as k is less than or equal to 10. Okay, so you have got the k value also for the particular problem now. Okay, so this k, what is k? K is the number of class intervals you have to consider for this particular problem. So now so k can be anything less than or equal to 10. Okay, so we consider here k is equal to 8. So if you consider k as 8, the probability of class interval will be p is equal to 1 by k. So what is k? 8. Okay, so 1 by 8, that is, you get it as 0.125. And next value ai you have to calculate. Ai is equal to minus 1 by lambda ln of 1 minus I into p. So what is lambda? Lambda is, you get it as 0.084. so that same value you have to write it here, ln of 1 minus I value. Okay, I into so I is written here, I into p is what? 0.125. so 0.125 into I is written like this. Okay. Next you have to calculate, we have to write the class intervals. So how many class intervals? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So why? Because here we have considered class interval k as 8, which is less than 10. So since we have considered 8, your class interval value is 8, so we have distributed it as 8 class intervals. So it ranges from 0 to infinity. So we have divided it now. So 0 to 1.589, one class interval. So what is the observed frequency? Observed frequencies in that range. If you see the slide, previous slide, you will be getting the values which are ranging in this particular range. Okay, sorry, which are the values which are falling under this range, 0 to 1.589. So observed frequency, you get it as 19. So next frequency we are considering 1.589 to 3.425. So under in this particular class interval, what is the observed frequency? That is 10. So like this, corresponding to each of the class intervals, we go on writing the observed frequency. So total observed frequency values, if you add this 19 plus 10 plus 3 plus 6 plus 3 plus 7, so again here one values you have. If you add all these, you get it as 50 here. This is summation of OI. So next, probability PI. So since we are considering here equal probability, all the values are of same value, that is 0.125. So everything is, we are going to write it PI as 0.125. And what is the expected frequency? That you have to calculate and you have to find. Okay, that is 6.25 here. You get it for every all the values you are going to get it as same, that is expected frequency. So expected frequency is same, right? And also OI minus EI you have to calculate. There is OI is here 19 minus EI 6, that is 6.25. Get it as here 12.75. So if you calculate this way for each and every row, some values will be minus with minus sign, so you have to keep as it is. But again, if when you square these numbers, it will become, however, it will become positive. So in the next step, when you are solving all the numbers, whatever if you have here, if you get it minus sign, next values will be, however, it will be positive. Okay, so this is OI minus EI whole square divided by EI. So this formula is same as we have done in the previous step, previous cases of chi-square test. Okay, so this is the last values we are going to get, and you add these values, you get it as 40.56. so now chi-square value, you get it as 40.56 value. Okay, now we have to compare this with the other value. Okay, with the table values. Okay, so that's why we need here chi-square alpha comma k minus s minus 1. So k is here class interval value 8. 8 minus s value, s is a single value, you get it here, so that's why 1. Okay, so that is 1 minus 1. So you get it as chi-square is equal to 0.05 comma 6. So this, if you see in the particular table in the appendix page, you get this value, chi-square value, so that is equal to 12.6. the table value it is actually. Okay, so this value has to be compared with the value you get it over the calculation. So if x square value, so this value is greater than x square alpha comma k minus s minus 1 value, then you have to reject the H naught hypothesis. What is H naught hypothesis? That is, data is being distributed exponentially. So since this is greater, so this value is greater than this value, you have to reject the. So next test, that is under goodness of fit test, we have one more test, that is So next test, that is under goodness of fit test, we have one more test, that is KM test or KS test, that is Kolmogorov-Smirnov test. So here we have this kind of test is being already done for in case of frequency test. Okay, you can see in page number 232. Okay, we have comparison of f of x and Sn of x. So this kind of problems are already done. So the test compares actually the continuous CDF, that is represented by f of x. So here mainly this f of x represents CDF, okay, whereas lowercase f of x will be representing the PDF. Okay, so you have to know this particular sign f of x. So it's a hypothesized distribution with empirical CDF. Empirical CDF is represented as Sn of x of n sample observations. So based on this maximum difference statistics, that is tabulated in 8.8. So here we can get it as d is equal to, that is deviation. Deviation is equal to max of f of x minus Sn of x. So here the particular formula, this formula is used in particular problem, that is example 7.6 in your textbook. Okay, you can see in 231 page number. So this KM test is mainly used for small size or sample size when it is small. Okay, or the data whatever is given is very small, then only we are going to do this KM test, okay, or KS test. So let us consider a particular KS test to determine whether the following data is uniformly distributed. The data denotes the number of accidents along 100 kilometers. So they have given this certain data here. Okay, there, and you have to assume the assumptions, that is H0 represents the data is uniformly distributed over 0, 1, and another assumption we are going to do is, that is H1. H1 is a I have not written it here, but H1 is going to represent the data which is not uniformly distributed over 0, 1. So the data along 1 kilometers is given already here. So we have to write on again the same data. Okay, so 0.883, 0.407. So since the data is uniformly distributed over 0, 1, so these values are changed to 0.883 like this. 0.407, 0.363, 0.273. Okay, since it is below 100. Okay, so everything we are going to write down in this way. And next we have to calculate, that I'll show in the next slide. This slide you can see here. So maximum in this, okay, I'll show that. So maximum value in this particular column. So what is that? 0.883. Again, the maximum out of this column you will be getting 0.74. So that is we need in the next slide. Okay, so that's being calculated, and you can see that t plus is equal to max of that particular value, that is you get it at 0.74. Another value d minus you are going to calculate, so that is also a maximum value in the next column, so that is 0.883. So now d is equal to max of d plus comma d minus. So this value again maximum out of these two, that is if you see 0.74, if you compare with 0.883, you get 0.883 is the maximum value. So this is taken into consideration, d value. So this d value is compared with another d value, that is d alpha comma n. N here is 30 values, so that is why 30 we have written, and d is 0.005. okay, so that is alpha value is 0.05. so this is given in the question. Okay, this will be given, or else this whole thing will be given in the question, d alpha comma n. So that is equal to 0.24. So you have to compare this particular value or this particular value with the value over here. So here, since D value, whatever you get it from the problem, D value is greater than D alpha comma n, you are going to reject the hypothesis, that is H naught.